Hey everyone, I'm Ermysenigma, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Today we're going to be talking about the balance changes coming up in a few days. And if you don't know by now how to go to the updates in the game, all you have to do is click on this gear icon on the top right hand corner. And then there's three different tabs: settings, updates, and community. You have to click on updates and there you can see all the new updates coming up in the game. So we're going to click on the fourth one down, balance changes preview July 2017. Dear Monster Master, as you know, every month we will bring you a set of changes intended to make the game more fair and fun. The next set of changes will be applied on July 20th. Here's what to expect. New books and Team Wars restrictions. We're releasing 2 new books very soon, Team Wars and Exclusive. Those books are actually out, you can see them for yourself. These books will also become restrictions in Team Wars 1 month later. Like the rest of the books, can you guess which monsters will be included in these new collections? Well, you don't need to guess anymore. They're released. The exclusive books is primarily VIP monsters and some of the YouTuber monsters, and then the Team War monsters, that's a mix right now of the pets and the generals. And I'm not really sure how I feel about this, like that exclusive book specifically. People that have VIP monsters compared to those that don't have VIP monsters, they obviously have an advantage. VIP monsters are like unmatched, specifically because of their trait. Having Bulwark makes them really great monsters for offense as well as defense, whereas the YouTuber monsters, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2, they're not that great. But at least the exclusive book isn't exclusively VIP monsters, because then everyone that was free to play, they won't have any monster to use. So at least they still gave you a chance. While they may not be the best monsters, at least you still have a chance. And it's not like every single war from now on is going to be exclusive, so you don't need to worry about that. Yeah, maybe one time it's going to be an exclusive war and you don't have a VIP, so it's going to be a 3 against 2 battle. But like I said, it's not going to happen every time, so I don't think people should worry too much about that. And maybe in the future they can add more exclusive monsters into that book. Next up on the agenda, first turn assassination in combat. Currently, when 2 monsters have the same speed, the one controlled by the human player always attacks first. This is creating issues in multiplayer mode since defense teams have trouble winning against the attackers. That is why we are applying a change in which when 2 monsters have the exact same speed, the chances to attack will be equal. Both the attacker and the defense will have a 50% chance of attacking first. Remember, this chance only applies when 2 monsters have the same speed. Honestly, I always wanted this to be implemented. I think it should be implemented. It's not fair that the human player has the advantage if 2 monsters have the same speed, because that doesn't make sense. Both monsters have the exact same speed. Why do you get the opportunity to go first? Now that it's fair, it's 50-50. And some people don't like this because it's changing the gameplay. You know, we're so used to going first if we have the exact same speed, but that was never fair to begin with. Now that our defense monster might have a chance to go first, this is going to make people have to be more strategic in their battles. And so I really don't see how this is a bad thing, because now your defense has a greater chance of winning. Isn't that what you want? You want your defense to actually defend your team. And so I think this is definitely a step in the right direction. And the one change I would actually like to see is that the rune temple to actually work on defense too. Because it doesn't matter if 2 monsters have the exact same speed, all you have to do is activate your rune temple, whether it's level 1, 2, or 3, and then the human player once again has the advantage. If you've taken the time to upgrade your rune temple, why shouldn't it work for defense in my opinion? That would be completely fair. If the rune temple and the exact same speed gave it a 50-50% chance, because then you'd really have to be strategic. But that's just my opinion. I don't know, would you guys think that's fair? Should the rune temple also work on defense? Let me know in the comments below. Next up is the fixed artifact trait. The artifact trait owned exclusively by Tymeron should protect it against any kind of status effect, but due to a bug, the newest status effects were excluded from this protection. With the July changes, this bug will be fixed and artifact trait will block all status effects. And so that's awesome, no arguments there. This should be interesting for you even if you don't own a Tymeron, because there are new monsters with the artifact trait coming soon. Finally, we're going to get more monsters that are immune to everything. Can't wait for those monsters to be released. Hopefully they have good stats and good skills. And there's also going to be changes in dungeons. You've probably noticed that in the last months, the amount of types of dungeons has increased a lot. To make dungeons more agile, these are the changes that will be applied. Gold Dungeon will take place every 2 weeks from Mondays to Wednesdays. Restrictions like the ones implemented in Team Wars will not be included in dungeons in order to make them more diverse and fun. Personally, I don't like that. I hate going through dungeons. It's just a waste of time. I always just do auto battle and let the game play for itself. So the fact that they're adding restrictions, that makes it harder for me on certain dungeons, but nonetheless it's a change. I'm just happy with the fact that we're getting more dungeons. And premier dungeons will now only have 1 battle where you can claim their statue. I missed getting Elementium, I missed getting gems, so I guess now we're just going to get a statue. I'm still going to beat the premier dungeons just to collect those statues. And player versus player improvements. A bit later in the month, after July 27th, 1 more change will be implemented. In order to make the multiplayer modes battles fairer for everyone, battle items will be deactivated for this type of battle. Personally, I think that's a great addition to PvP. Considering PvP is ranks, you shouldn't be allowed to use items, because that's not really a fair advantage. Now of course, if you're in a scenario where everyone has like 130s and you only have like 110s or even level 100s and you needed to rely on items to win, then I can see why you hate this update. But personally, just the way the game is, the way PvP ranking system is, I don't think items should be allowed. And I know a lot of people may think that it's unfair that a person with level 100 monsters has to take on a player with 130 monsters, but you know, it's because they have 130s that they deserve to be on the top of the ranking. Because if you take a look at the other side, would it be fair for a person that has only level 100 monsters to be ranked 1, whereas a person with 130 who spent a lot of time or money into the game, for them not to be ranked 1? That's not really fair. That being said though, I'm not saying that PvP is perfect. I still think that it can be reworked, and maybe they should make it so people with level 100 monsters don't fight people with level 130 monsters. There has to be some way to separate those two types of players. And lastly, as stated in the multiplayer help section and in the tutorial video released for the feature, monsters assigned to the defense team will not be usable anywhere else in the game. So you won't be allowed to use your defense PvP team anywhere else in the game. And honestly, for the majority of players, I'd probably say for 95% of players, it doesn't really matter that you can't use your defense PvP team anywhere else, because your defense PvP team mostly loses anyways. Like, unless you have 130 and level 10 runes, your defense team is probably not going to be winning any battles. Because if you have like level 100 monsters, someone that has level 110, 105 good runes, they're going to take on your team and defeat your team. So it doesn't really matter what defense team you have. There was a time when I put all commons on my defense team, and I lost just as many times as I did when I had my 115s on defense. So the defense team, personally, I don't think it matters too much. And there's actually an edited section, difficulty differences between leagues. This change will happen from the next season on. So I guess every single season they're going to be changing the rewards. And so what that basically means is that they can reduce the number of gems you receive, or increase the gems, or increase the runes, decrease the runes. Basically they can make whatever change they deem fit. And moving on to the last update, Fraternity Event Elementium Reward important. On Monday 17th you will see a new type of fraternity event. This is happening today. It is almost identical to previous fraternity events. The difference is only the reward for team members. This time it's Elementium instead of war coins. When you purchase gems, it's going to say your team received war coins, and if you haven't updated the app, a pop-up will show Elementium icon, but the text will say war coins. Regardless of whatever you see, it's just a visual problem. Your team isn't getting war coins, they're actually getting Elementium. And so that visual problem will be fixed in the future. And they actually showed us how much Elementium you get. The biggest pack, 1700 gems, is going to give players 35 Elementium, which I personally think is an amazing reward. Because you gotta think about it, previously 1700 gems would give you 400 war coins. Now 400 war coins was amazing when the prices of the monsters used to cost less. Now that they cost like over 2,000 for the really good ones, Thetis for example I think cost 2.5k coins. But now that we have the potential to get up to 35 Elementium, that is great, because with Elementium you can rank up any monster you want, you can craft any monster you want. It's really good actually. If just 2 people on your team purchase the 1700 gems, that's already 70 Elementium. And honestly, I hope they keep the Elementium thing. I really don't care for the war coins right now. There's just nothing really good to buy in the team shop. Until they reduce their prices in the team shop, I don't even recommend people to buy anything in the team shop. Honestly, for the time being, you should just save all your coins. And yeah, that's basically going to be it for this episode. There's quite a few changes coming up in the game, so please let me know what you think about them. Do you like them or do you dislike them? Whatever it is, let me know in the comments below. With that being said, I'm RRabbits, and like always, remember to dream big and pursue your passions.